This is Dave Kahn with XMD Northwest. I'm here in Sumner, Washington at the Rehearsal Works with After the Fallout. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Awesome. Yeah. Yes.
So introduce yourself so people know who you guys are and what you do.
Robert, I play guitar. Merrick, I do vocals. Alan, guitar. Adam, bass. Jason, drums.
So you guys just came off of having a hiatus and doing some member changes. So how'd you guys come up with this lineup?
Well, after the Fallout previously with our original lineup, we released Chaos Unleashed back in 2010 and played some awesome shows. Really got out there, got a foothold in the Seattle scene and what was going on. And lo and behold, life happened and people had other things come up and there were injuries and health situations and we got some fill-in members and there's a train going by and I also give people the finger because I was playing drums, by the way. Lo and behold, people started dropping off. We were getting fill-in members and we decided, hey, you know what, we want to only put something on stage that we would want to go and see. So we kind of took a break, and in that break I took the opportunity to go play drums for Spare Me Poseidon after their Prospects album came out. And that was with this guy right here, Adam. So as we kind of started talking about getting After the Fallout going again, we put it out to the original members, and people had stuff going on, and we still couldn't break away from it, and the interest wasn't there for the genre and some people, and those of us that wanted to keep going decided, well, we're going to do the right thing for the band and we're going to keep going. And from my experience playing with this gentleman here in Spare Me Poseidon, we brought him on board.
And there's a little chapter in between too. That was fun. Took it with Jason and started jamming with this guy down here. And that really helped bring me up to speed with what style of music they were about, which was a huge challenge for me, and definitely made me a better bass player being with these guys. And that kind of was very short-lived. And then ATF was reborn from there.
It was kind of coalescing at that point. We started talking again, and I had some tendonitis and carpal tunnel problems. That's one of the reasons that facilitated the hiatus. Is just became too painful to play, and so I ended up taking a pretty long break, put my guitar down for like 4 months, and probably didn't really get back into playing for about a year and a half. But anyway, after getting back to full strength, kind of looked at the options, and everyone was wanting to do it, and the timing was right, the stars aligned, and here we are.
How'd you come up with the vocalist?
I came in after my own hiatus. Like they said, life happens, and I had to focus on myself and my family and my child for a minute, and things kind of came together. The opportunity arose for me to audition for ATF, and I grabbed at it, and I'm glad that everything unfolded the way it was, and I'm super happy to be here, and these guys are super awesome and really talented, and I just am so stoked to be a part of this.
We were introduced to this guy through a mutual friend. We actually put out some feelers first so we could avoid doing the big Craigslist train wreck that ensues. And
Concourse.
So we put some feelers out and we got some good candidates, and then we wanted to just make sure we had as wide of a talent pool as we could, so we did the Craigslist and Facebook thing, and then the clown car showed up and everybody started climbing out, and we did it smart this time. After a previous audition where we had people singing about slaying dragons and things like that, we made them send us a clip first of them singing.
You mean you didn't want Ronnie James Dio in After the Fallout?
It was way bad.
Yes.
It was
Anybody
like
else like him?
yeah, absolutely. Dio's the exception. Otherwise, it was kind of like if you imagine Dungeons and Dragons as a song, and there's another band that used to be around here that did that way better than we ever could. So that's what these vocalists were like. So we weeded down the talent pool and came to 4 really solid, kick-ass candidates, and we had them all out. And it was a close one, but by far, personality-wise, overall fit, coming in and just knocking our socks off. When Eric here came in, there was no question as to whether this was the guy.
So now you guys just were on KSW. With you coming back out, what was it like to experience all that and be able to push what you're about to do on Thursday with the show coming out?
KSW has been really good to us over the years.
It's amazing.
They've been just really solid. They've been really supportive of what we do. When Jason and I were in Subject to Change, and we were in prior to this for many years. KISW was always really solid in our corner. Jolene was always really cool. The guys at Metal Shop were always, really cool with us. And it just made sense that when we wanted to go ahead and relaunch this, to do it right, make sure KSW was involved. They were right there in our corner, brought us in. We did an interview. They recorded a new track for Metal Shop and to drop on this show.
Lambs become lions.
And by the time you see this, you'll be able to stream that online. It should be linked off our Facebook and our Reverb Nation, so you can check out, shameless plug, you can check out our new single that we tracked that we debuted on Metal Shop last weekend.
Also check out the podcast if you missed the interview.
Right on. So what is the plans for ATF in 2015? Any plans to do a release or?
Go big or go home.
Well, we've tossed it around. We've got another EP worth of material written that's all solid, we feel, and we'd be totally happy to release it. We're just deciding whether we want to do one single at a time and just put it out there for everybody to listen to, or if we really want to do an EP and launch it that way. Some of that comes down to time and money and all that kind of business stuff nobody likes to talk about, but we'll get out there. We got some out-of-town options to go down and see some friends in Oregon and whatnot. So what's that?
We're welcome in LA too.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you.
So what do you guys, what are some of the influences that are real key into what you guys brings you to who you are?
Influence on music. I don't even know, man. I've been listening to the same music since I was a kid, with the exception of a few new bands. But I really like what Battle Cross is doing. I've always liked Trivium. But other than that, it's like old school thrash is what I listen to. I try to play that with just a little bit more groove.
I come from a punk beginning to, my own set. My career kind of has evolved through the hardcore, post-hardcore, gent kind of genres, and I've evolved and I've come into ATF, and I try to just bring some of the influence and a little bit new, and my background's, like All That Remains back, 2008, Zayo, all these guys, seriously influenced me, but I've taken that influence and tried to bring it somewhat new to ATF, and it seems to be working out.
My influences actually, it's kind of interesting, the influence question, because the show that we're going to be playing this Thursday with Tony McAlpine, he is actually probably my biggest guitar influence, so this is a pretty big deal for me. But my influences range from like Tony, Marty Friedman, Jeff Loomis, who's a friend and I studied with for a while. Those are really the things that move me and kind of inspire my guitar playing.
Mine's all over the board. As a classically trained bassist, I wanted to be in the orchestra so bad. I grew up listening to a lot of chamber music. It's just what I wanted to do. The teacher looked at my hands first day and said, "You're not playing a cello, you're playing a bass." He was a jazz player at night, so then he introduced me to jazz. And then I found metal, and there really wasn't a lot of turning back there. But I still spend a good amount of my time listening to soundtracks, and like a huge Hans Zimmer fan. Like what he does musically is just incredible, and there's a lot of influence that I still pull from modern scores as well as classical pieces.
Oh geez, let's see. I started out, I came up on jazz and fusion. I played that for a very long time. What am I listening to right now? I'm really into, and I play drums for within the context of After the Fallout. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here or be another band. But right now I'm really into listening to Ben Harslerode from Whitechapel and Knights of the Abyss. Alex Runinger, who's one of the most technical players out there. It's just amazing. I'm really into the visual drummers. A buddy of mine, Morgan Rose, he's one of my biggest influences. Shannon Larkin from Godsmack and Amen, and Lord knows what else he's played in. Really into some of the big time metal drummers that make it look easy, like Gene Hoglan. I'm pretty sure he can play anything and with anybody and make it sound good. So yeah, that's really who I'm into right now. I'm kind of all over the board too, like Adam.
So now comes the tech talk of what you guys use and to get the sound that you have. So let's start with you.
I play through Mesa Road King, play an Ibanez EBT 700, whatever it's called. I got a Jackson KP. Play through a Mesa Road King and a lot of speakers. And I try to make it sound good.
There ain't no try to that, but I like the modesty.
Our rigs are actually really close. They're very set up very similar. I also play through a Mesa. Mine's a 3-channel dual rack. Uses a tube screamer. I use a Wagage Green Rhino, which is kind of tube screamer derived.
More knobs.
Yeah, it's a tube
knobs.
screamer with more knobs. So our sounds are pretty close as far as that.
I use my voice.
And where did you get that from?
I grew it myself. Really nice.
He picked it up from his parents.
I use an SVT4 Pro. The thing is incredibly heavy. Let's just put it that way. And it creates a really heavy tone. It's definitely the best amp I've ever played through.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's like heavy. Like
It's both.
there's a reason why it has heavy tones because it weighs a lot. And then a couple effects, which speaking of influences, can't think of his name. The bass player for the Haunted and At the Gates. He's got incredible tone. Peter Ewers from In Flames, incredible tone, and they're both like really just dirty, overdriven tones. And I really dig that. I like that low end rattly sound.
I play DW Collector Series drums. I play Evans heads exclusively. I use a ton of different snare drums right now. My live rig and what I've used for the last couple of tracks we've done is a 20-ply 6x14 maple vented Orange County drum and percussion custom snare. I use DW pedals. I used to be a Zildjian guy. Now I'm running a mix of Feisty and Meinl because I'm ADD and indecisive. I trigger my rig through an Alesis DM Pro and D-Drum triggers. All of my sample patches have been put together by us or by the producers we work with and then peeled off of things that we've done and loaded in, so it's not the cliche clicky death metal sound. It's real beefy, organic, kick you in the balls tone. I generally use DW hardware. I got this really kick-ass Pearl Icon rack because my shit takes up too much space, and I really am into that right now. And Vic First drumsticks exclusively again for over 20 years.
I'm going back and forth between ESP and Jackson guitars. One week one's my favorite, the next week the other one is.
Yeah, I'll pick up from there. I played through Ibanez bases. I love them all. I've got 5 Ibanez bases, and I picked up an Iceman and a Destroyer for the latest projects, just because they're really cool looking. But they play just as well as any other sound gear I've ever played on. And I had a little bit of work done. It's a intro model Iceman, but I had a little bit of work done to it, and he made it sound a lot heavier than it used to. So that's good.
So how can people find you on the internet? What your Facebook page? What is it?
Facebook, Reverb.
Yeah, Facebook.com/afterthefallout. Finger.
Seems like every time Jason goes to make that plug, that train comes through.
Facebook.com/afterthefallout, ReverbNation.com/afterthefallout. Those are the 2 easiest ways to hit us up.
Well, I want to thank you guys, for inviting me to your rehearsal tonight, and looking forward to Thursday's show with Tony McAlpine. I mean, we're ready to see the Shred Fest finally hit Seattle again.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you for you guys' time.
Thank you, Dave.